Nerd Soul.
Yeah, that's right. We out here riding late, ill kid at OneYoungsta, holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, all year, coming with another wonderful episode of course, Ride. We up in the whip, chilling. I actually saw a comment. I've been late on stuff. I've had to move and everything, and I saw an old comment from Jess and King, and she broke down a couple of things after seeing Black Panther, and since we got Black Panther coming up, you know what I'm saying? We got the home release or whatever. She wrote down some things that hit her, and I was like, you know what? It's pretty fleshed out. Let me go on and respond to this properly. So she broke down 9 things that were on her mind. I'm gonna start from 9 and go down to number 1. So number 9, why did Ramonda die? Thank you. That's a good question. I can't answer either. The only reason I can answer is that this series seems to be completely set on making sure that the only black royal family in MCU does not exist. But continuing on, she says, "Why did Ramonda die? Waste of character overall. Not a Black Panther movie. Barely talked about that and Wakanda. This this was a regular Marvel movie without a good title." Dang. Whoo. That's tough, Jess. Whoo. Now, Ramonda, the, you can step back and look at this as a continual destruction of the black family through media, and the way the father was taken, the brother was taken, the mother was taken, and now the daughter, who knows, the daughter essentially doesn't even want to, you know, be in Wakanda. Like, she bounced, she ain't planning on leading nothing, being a queen or nothing, none of that. So, she ain't interested at all. Also, Ramonda didn't have to die. Like, it just wasn't even necessary. We already had enough real life trauma that didn't have to be injected into this, but they did. That decision was made. Let that go. But we already had that, enough of that up in here. And they decided to take Ramonda out too. And it's funny because even, post after the movie, we see that like post the release, we see Angela Bassett saying like she didn't like the choice, and but your boy Ryan Coogler was defending it like, yo, nah, we gotta do this. Like, I look, I know people be out here loving everything Coogler does, and I don't think Coogler is a bad director in any way, shape, or form. But man, it's tough to talk about this because you know how it is. You know how people get. You know what I'm saying? People get when you talk about this. You can't say nothing about it. But I just Ramonda didn't have to die. The Queen Mother did not have to go. But anyway, continue on. Number 8, she says, "How do you see Queen Ramonda without a ritual to see how do you see Queen Ramonda without a ritual to see the ancestors?" That's a in my opinion, that was something that I you know, I I think in a couple of cases they played fast and loose with with their, I guess, their kind of like lore set up in Wakanda and how the ancestors work and how the ancestral plane works. I feel like they just kind of they fast and loose that one. There was just like, oh well, we want her to hear her or we want her to see her, and that's it. That's just what we want to happen, so it's going to happen. Um, for continuing on off of this, for there to be like no importance of Bast or even her possibly being rejected due to how she's rejected all of the tradition, that there's who knows, man. I think there's some interesting storytelling to have been done with that, but it wasn't. And I mean, hey, what can you do? You know what I'm saying? It seems like they just wanted to make that happen, to have that moment for her without having the character do the work to get that moment. You know what I'm saying? Probably just it seemed like they were just rushing the story along and trying to get it going. Um, Number 7, Jess says, "How can you become Black Panther without the proper ceremony? And if you don't believe in Bast, the thing that gives you the power in the first place?" Well, good. She already got that. So, yes. All right. So this is this is tough because it. I know the movie can't go on and on and on about Bast and everything and the other gods and stuff like that, but you do have to at least make some type of mention about Bast and about the selection process and about because you can't then turn around and especially if they want to run some type of storyline with Doom where he's found to be worthy of, you know what I'm saying, like it, you know, you just they just disregarded a lot for the sake of just kind of making this happen. And I know Bast wasn't really, I guess, highlight a lot in the first film, but you at least knew that she was a factor. And now we have a another character who doesn't believe in the tradition. She doesn't believe in the god or gods. She doesn't believe in none of it. It's science or nothing. And I think just to make the movie happen, they're like, oh, cool. She got the herb. She remade it. There it is. Took some DNA. Boom. That slammed up. And I would have liked maybe even if you see Killmonger is, you know, in the conversation with Killmonger, maybe Bast comes in and or maybe she sees Bast instead of Killmonger, and she's like, no, I don't care what's going on with Wakanda. You're not, you know, you're not worthy. You're not welcome. I do not believe that you are a good steward of these powers. Look at how you've acted ever since. And I mean, I said in my ever since your brother's passing. Even in my original review, I'm like, this girl is like the worst, or girl, woman. I'm not. This ain't. Not, I don't want to hear no mess, no stupidness. It's just a colloquial term. Ain't nobody trying to say that she's not grown. But this character of Shuri has never really had to do anything but be Shuri. Think about it. Her dad was, you know, had the responsibility. Her dad was gone. Then her brother had the responsibilities. He's gone. Now her mother had the responsibilities. She never, ever had to do anything. And all she did was basically make situations worse for everyone involved. So, for instance, Queen Ramonda's like, I don't want you to go. She goes anyway. Then, Okoye's like, yo, come with me. And she sends Okoye off on her own anyway. Then when the Atlanteans attack, or not, you know what I mean, Atlanteans, for the sake of this argument, the Atlanteans attack, and her mom tells her something again, wherein which she does not listen at all. And her mom dies for it. You know what I'm saying? And then at the end, when you think she'd be like, you know what, I did a lot of stuff wrong and I messed up a lot of stuff. Let me go on and do my duty. You know what I'm saying? To protect this, you know, this land and everything. She doesn't even step up to that. She has no sense of responsibility and or duty. And I don't see Bast finding someone like that even halfway worthy. The intellect, you need way more than intellect. And I think that we did a lot of jerry-rigging and fast-forwarding to make it work just because it had to work, instead of being like, no, we need a training montage. We need a hearts on fire, you know, moment with her where she has to realize that Wakanda is greater than her. It's greater than her mama, her daddy, her brother. It's greater than everyone. Because if Wakanda does not stand, there's nowhere for them to live. You know what I'm saying? But that's, hey, Who am I? I'm just someone who realizes that these people that's making all these money, all these movies, and making all this money from these movies, they ain't got no plan. And I know you're gonna say, "Oh, nerd, so how you gonna say you a better writer than them? How you gonna say you got a better plan, better ideas than them?" Dude, J.J. Abrams came out, and there's been other franchises too, but J.J. Abrams straight came out and was like, "Look, we ain't have no plan when we started the new trilogy of Star Wars. Now you talking about $1 billion franchise, a billion, B, mad zeros. You can't even count to it. You probably couldn't count to 1 billion in a lifetime. Even if you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you couldn't even get there. But guess what? They still cranked out movies with no plan. So I don't believe in any way that these people making these movies, directing these movies, writing these movies are any smarter than you or I. They ain't got no plans. They just had buddies and cohorts and friends that put them in the position, or they knew the right person, or they kissed the right butt, or whatever it is. But anyway, back to this. So number 6, something positive. Jess says, I'm feeling Riri. You know what? I like the actress too. I do think that the comedy of the way she was introduced wasn't in any way landing for me. I think it was corny, the way they brought her up. Also, I don't see. Okay, I get the whole thing of like the prodigy thing, and she's smarter than her professors, but this it's almost carried on like this is the '90s. These days, I mean, look at like Zuckerberg. He didn't stay and graduate. If a kid these days is like outperforming, everyone in the school and their professors, she didn't say anything about getting any like grant money or anything. There's no, at least maybe she did and I missed it, but there's literally no reason for her to be at the school. Once she gets there and realizes like, I'm better than y'all, like I don't see her staying for any reason whatsoever. But hey, look, what do I know? Who am I? You know what I'm saying? Who am I? The girls, them sugar. You know what I'm saying? So, but the actress, I think she's cool. I think that her and Shuri had a good rapport going on, so I like that. I just think the comedy surrounding her entry was kind of whack. Also, I find it hard to believe that someone's just going to grab your phone and log into your Cash App or Zelle or Chime or PayPal, whatever it is, and just send themselves money, bruh. And maybe people ain't got the security like I got, but I have minimal security, I'd assume. And you got to go through like passcodes and fingerprints just to access stuff like, Cash App or something like that. You can't just pick up somebody's phone and be like, "Ooh, you owe me $500 or something." That was whack to me. But whatever. Let's go down to number 5. Number 5 just says, "Why was M'Baku always getting knocked out?" I don't like that. Okay. M'Baku was essentially the trope of the black man getting beat up to show how strong someone else was. And the sad thing is, I think that there was a lot there for him to be a surrogate older brother, but they would rather spend their time making him a whipping boy of Talokan or Kul Khan or Namor or whatever you want to call him. El Sun Namor or something, whatever it is. So instead of us being to have true moments of clarity and reflection in her journey to realizing her responsibility and her duty through conversations and interactions with someone who could have been a surrogate older brother that had true respect for the man that her brother was, we end up getting a whipping boy and someone who's essentially a afterthought. And it wasn't my favorite, man. That was not my favorite. But number 4 says, this refutes the comic about one vibranium, period. Yeah, okay. All right. Because on one hand, I know, having a adaptation to another media, retaining and keeping every single thing from the comic or the novel or the comic strip, whatever, is not always possible or easily done. But bruh, it one of the main things about Wakanda is, all right. If you were to ask most people that have read Black Panther in any way, say any more than say like 6 issues of Black Panther, any one of the runs, they'd be able to say, okay, Vibranium's there, Bast selects, and Black Panther is the protector of Wakanda, something like that, and they're closed off. Like there's like certain things that are kind of like staples of Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? And this, to me, this seems to be more of the media's mode of black people can't have anything that's positive that's attributed only to them. So not only did we destroy the black family in here, and the only black family that had any autonomy, meaning this is the only black family that can go anywhere and tell someone no, and be able to tell them no without having to, cry about it. And then the one thing that they had for themselves, that was taken from them in this movie. So now, yeah, I'm not a fan of. Ah, dang, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that. But that's what we got now. That's what we got. That's what we got. So number 3 just says, how do you make a heart-shaped herb without properties of bast? The vibranium from the fish god is different from bast. Yeah, they did some very quick end-run pseudoscience on that one. Basically, they were like, all right, well, we just want to take the DNA from T'Challa and I guess, bing, bang, boom, science. They did an ill reach on that. And then for her not to see the fish god or Bast or anyone, come on now. And it's weird because like don't sleep. I think this movie looks great, like the production value and everything. It looks great, but when you start, and I think a lot of this stuff is going to happen, especially after the home release. Say about 6 months after the home release, watch a whole bunch of people start asking these same questions. They're gonna be asking those Cat Williams questions. They're gonna be asking your questions, Jess. They're gonna be like, yo. And even when people that was mad with my questions, they're gonna be like, yeah, now that I've watched it 2 or 3 times, yeah, why didn't they do this? You know what I'm saying? Or why didn't they do that? All right, so the heart-shaped herb. When he gave her, I think it was the bracelet or the necklace or whatever, I was like, that's going to be significant somehow. And then when it started coming to play, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. But this is a whole different, a whole different, a whole different, item. It's not the heart-shaped herb anymore. Whatever these two things are together, it's something new. Now, if you want to say that this character of Shuri is becoming something new, then say that. But you said that she was something old, aka the Black Panther, something that has already existed. But she has created a new item or a new element, similar to and what was it, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 2, when he made the new element to put to so he didn't have to get the poison no more. That she's created something new now, because this isn't this isn't the heart-shaped herb, and it's not the fish thing either. This is something brand new. Now, with that said, I'll circle back to what we talked about before. Technically, with this, you could say, well, hey, she don't need to see Bast or the fish god, because since this is something new, this is something new that doesn't have a precursor for any type of, I don't know, any type of, like validating force. So this just gives the power and that's it. But then if it gives the power, what power is it giving? That's a question. What power is it giving? Because it can't give the same power, because it's not the same thing. But maybe I'm getting way too in the weeds. And maybe that's way too hard to try to explain on film, or maybe they just didn't want to. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm asking way too many questions now. Because I am also a fan of saying don't ask no questions. But number two, Jess says, why it gotta be black versus brown? That's whack. But that's life though. Jess, I'm sorry, but girl, baby girl, if I can call you baby girl, I apologize. Baby woman. I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We cool. Ain't no dissing here. Yo, Los Angeles just went through the largest discrimination case in history, wherein which brown people have been discriminating against black people on warehouse and construction jobs most specifically. Also in well, not in Los Angeles, but in California as a whole, and also in Los Angeles, you saw how the city council was getting wild calling black children monkeys. So this idea of black brown alliance, look, it would be awesome. I'll say this. I'll start this off and say, hey, this would be awesome. Black brown alliance, a true black brown alliance would be awesome. But we have way too much evidence to the contrary. Now, with that said, we are looking at science fiction. You know what I'm saying? So in fiction land, maybe we could have something that's black brown alliance to sort of be like aspirational. You know what I'm saying? To show the people, the masses, that look, black and brown is working together and everybody, and it's happiness. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's to your point, that is whack, because this could have been aspirational where they work together to be like, yo, we are family, all my brothers, sisters, and me. But in real life, I believe Dr. John Henrik Clark said that we have no allies. Now, I am not talking about individuals. You will always find a person here, a person there, of any type of background demographic that is down for black people and supports black people and isn't trying to, represent anti-blackness in any way, shape, or form and speaks against it. But when you look at groups as a whole, many times black people are asked to stand up for others way before others will ever stand up for us. So, yeah, it's whack, but it's kind of real. All right, so number one, the last thing Jess said, why are the Brads and Karens here besides the stealing ones? All the white government people were useless and pointless. Because we can't have our own thing. One of the only things that bothers me in the first movie is that we got a Brad, kind of like saving the day as far as the ships that are going out towards the border. And not saying that I have anything against him, but it's like every time I see that scene go, his situation go any longer than them just healing him and sending him back, like I feel like he's shoehorned. And I feel like all the scenes with the government, outside of the government trying to attack Wakanda, are shoehorned in. I know Elaine got to get her time in. You know what I'm saying? I know Elaine got to get her time in, and hopefully one day we'll see her dance again. But all the stuff with them could have been removed outside of maybe the UN meeting, and we could have had the same movie. Like it didn't seem super, after seeing the movie all the way through. It doesn't seem super necessary outside of the fact that you can't have your own thing. Think about it, man. If you'll have a movie with Brad and Karen, and won't be one of us in that joint, boy. They'll make a whole TV show of Friends and have two black people in a whole city of New York, all seasons. But when we have something in a black nation that's also siloed off from everyone, somehow we get mad screen time with Brad and Karen up in that. Look, man, and then we got to know about their relationship, and it's just, man, And then the whole thing of like Okoye and Shuri are like, we're gonna go talk to the CIA guy. Y'all got y'all own intelligence. Have y'all forgot the war dogs? They do their own. Like, what are you talking? Y'all got y'all own CIA. What are you talking about? Y'all maybe because y'all was spending so much time focusing on the Dora Milaje, y'all forgot that y'all have war dogs. Yes, all of the men that go all around the world and get intel and gather information, or the people like Nakia that's sneaking around and doing double spy stuff or double agent or whatever. Where they at? You don't need to go to him here. What do you mean? You got your own stuff. What you need to rely on him for? We are self-sufficient. As you know what? I feel myself getting riled up, and I've already gone long enough. Look, Jess, thank you so much for supporting the show. Thank you so much for commenting all the time. I'm glad I got a chance to read these out and actually go through them and, flesh out my ideas and yours some more. You know what I'm saying? I love to do more of this. Hey, guys, if y'all got long comments, you never know. I might actually come through and straight up just do it on a video while I'm riding and just hanging out. But, of course, NERD. SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I love all y'all. Thank you for rolling through. If you click like, click comment, subscribe, share it, it helps. If you want to see more of your boy, you got to do your part. And your part is to like, share, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I done my part. I made the video. Now you got to do your part. Anyway, until the next time, until the next achievement, until the next tournament that Arturo may steal from, until the next Black Panther, which I do not think is going to happen. Peace.